All right, this video we're going to look at divides, for lack of a better name. And what I mean is we're just going to be dividing up some of our polygons that we've already created. And let me show you guys a good example. But even before that, let me shrink this down just a little bit. For like 10 videos now, I think I've thought about shrinking this up. And also, I forgot to put a duplicate version over here on this side for symmetry's sake. Why not? And if you do that, and if you had this drop shadow still in there, that somehow has managed to survive, go ahead and flip the angle around on it. Okay, so let's just tint this a little darker. And all right, here we go. So we're going to divide up some of this stuff, and you know, just kind of stacking things on top of each other doesn't always give the greatest impression that they are kind of one unit, but oddly enough, I think that doing some things like you're about to see will kind of unify some of these parts. So what I'm going to do is just start over here. Let me zoom in even further, and just got a black shape on top of everything else that we've already done. And I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to make that wireframe just for a moment. I kind of want to keep my eye on how this line runs. I mean, it's a little difficult because to mock up a parallel line, I guess I'd have to make a line like this. Okay, I think that's about right. And then what's our other line here? From that to that. Okay, so I just kind of want to run a line right down the middle of the shape. And once I've done that, I can, well, you know what, maybe we should leave those in just for reference. And then I'm going to take it down like so, and then continue it over this way. And close enough. And then what to do here, because this thing's kind of angled down, isn't it? I guess we'll just do something like this. So there we go. That's what I'm looking for. This could probably be shifted over just a little bit, because this piece, I guess, is kind of what's throwing things off, isn't it? It should probably be over a little bit more, right? In which case, let's go ahead and, well, you know, let's minimize that anyway. All right. There we go. And then to really make it look pretty, you could also put a line on the inside of it, where I just show the side of the interior. And there's probably a quick way of doing that without going crazy. You could set this to be hairline, and then just grab the inside of this and shift it over. And I think you could probably get away with just I'm trying to see why these aren't connected. There we go. Just taking the alpha down on this. So for example, yeah, I guess that doesn't work because of this little part. Well, let's just give it a color like that, and take the alpha back up. There you go. Let's make it just a tad lighter so you can actually see it. Okay, let's call this divide. And can we get away with doing it over here? I don't know if we can or not. I'm going to assume not, because I think these shapes are just too different, but let's find out. Or really the question is, would I even want to try to do this? Probably a waste of time. And don't feel like don't feel like you have to do the exact same thing you did over there. I mean, on this side, maybe you would go and think, or just try something different. And then if you don't like it, well, golly, you can always take these things off because they're their own little unit. Now, the real question is, what purpose do they serve? Why does he suddenly have a big open space in his armor? I should get, because this line is kind of not really falling in the middle. I either need to move this down or just make that divide a little thinner. So we run across here. And then you could even, this one needs a little tuning up, I think, but kind of it's falling in a weird place because of that. It should probably be going right there. But and then you could even try some things like taking a line and just kind of moving out from that, like in some weird ways. And we're gonna play a little bit more with doing some fancier line work later, but yeah, something like this. I don't know. Well, actually, it doesn't look too bad. I think probably I did a disservice to this by using that same shape I had before, because now that I'm looking at it, there's a lot of things that could be changed here. For example, that plane should be going down there. This should be like that. It should be more like that probably. So just doing stuff like that will fix it up. But yeah, it kind of just adds that little bit of flair that a lot of places are just kind of a little too empty in terms of detail, and well, that's what we're working on this section. I'll go ahead and keep this for right now, and I'll just worry about tweaking it to make it perfect later. And I think we could use one right over here. While I'm just going to clear out those keyframes. Okay, so I'll start right here, bend that over this way into our existing little black void, and try to keep this line running parallel to this. And same thing over here. Then what I'll do is pull that up. Yep, that's a good looking one, I think. Let's try to show a little bit of that interior plane. I meant to use black for that color. Here we go. Just nice little swap tool there. Swap option. Hardly noticeable, but It's there. Okay, I'll call this divide 2. And I suppose you could try to use some of these same ones other places. I mean, you do have symbols out of them, so you could always give it a shot. And let's see. This shape has actually been bothering me a little bit because it's a bit too plain. I just duplicated that, by the way. And here we go. It's like I kind of want to do some sort of strap or something like that around this part. Not sure why though, but yeah, that's definitely adding a lot. Let's see, we could do something right here as well. This is kind of a super simple version of that, where we just put a square there. And because we've already sort of given the impression that it's an overhang, it just looks like some sort of chunk out of it. But in other places, a little square like that might just appear, might just look like some sort of clipping or something like that, you know. So if you had like something like this, it could appear like that's just, yeah, some sort of connection between this part and that part. And that doesn't actually look too bad. Okay, we haven't paid much attention to the legs in a while, so let's go down here and let's put a little separation right here. So I guess it could look like maybe it would bend, and I'll just begin by putting a black box over this. And let's think about how we're going to do this here. We'll probably start over this way. Let's come up here. Let's go up to this point. Come down here. So we're going to keeping that intact. And cut across over to there. So just kind of come up a little bit on this side. And then come down to right there. We could probably leave this down here. Bring that up. Bring that up. And then I guess these should probably come down to about the same place. So there we go, just something like that. And, divide boot. This could certainly use some patterning in here, anything really. Looks a little bit too bare, so let's try not to forget about that. And for this guy, let me take the tinting back up a little bit on it. I'm kind of torn whether or not I should make this side lighter. I think kind of prematurely made it a bit too dark before. This is always something we can fix later, and I think I will just decide to fix it later. But if you just hitting undo here, if you ever see a sudden change in the color over there, you'll know what happened. All right, let's figure out where this divide will be, and I guess we'll kind of just start it right over here in the same place. And I guess we'll just have to start it right there. Oops. All right, I'm pretty sure that's essentially what I was doing to the last one. I mean, I guess you could always play around with just seeing if it's worth exploring it going all the way back. I mean, heck, for that matter, you could really experiment, try something crazy. Yeah, I kind of dig that. Let's leave it in for now. Worst case, we can just close off that point and go back to the way it was. All right, so let's call this divide boot 2. Okay, let's do a little bit more detail on these fingers. And by detail, I mean chop them in half. No, we could simply do something like this. Or should we make them look like they have a little divot taken out? Yeah, that kind of looks nice. Do the same thing over here. Not really sure why this would be the case, but one thing you could do to really quickly give this some depth is just fill in that bottom plane with a little color, like so. You would also have to do it on the other side too, though. Let's set this to hairline. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I meant to set this to be blue. Okay, probably not the best perspective I've done so far, but we'll go with it. Alright, so we'll just match up this same color right here, and then I'll go with a light-ish color right there. See how that looks? Yeah, it's nice. It's just a little extra detail. Divide fingers. One thing that could be fun down here would be to put in some sort of indication of like metal connecting these. And I think I'd have to zoom in quite a bit, but you know, something like this. These like little connecting rods. And obviously I'm just kind of haphazardly putting them in there, but when you're zoomed out like that, I think that kind of translates well. Just again, looks very intricate at a distance. So yeah, we could leave those in and just kind of clean them up later. Other interesting divides. Well, you know, this it's something that we're also going to kind of do in the next video when we put in some lines. So I think what I'll do is I'll just keep things as they are. I mean, I'll definitely mirror some of these same divides over on this side, and if you suddenly see some other minor ones come into play in between videos, you'll know what to do to do them yourselves. But yeah, let's call it quits on this for right now.